He left the village to chase success, but in the city, he buried his roots and denied his own mother. He thought no one would know, until her love went viral. Hello everyone. Welcome to today's incredible story. Comment where you are watching from. And please, do well to subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. How it all started. Mama Blessing had only one treasure in her life, her son, Obiorah. When Obiorah's father died suddenly from a sickness when the boy was just 8, the world became dark. There was no one to help, no uncle to send money, no friend to turn to. But Mama Blessing refused to give up. She started selling vegetables and roasted corn at the market. Every morning, before the first rooster crowed, she would walk to her small farm to harvest okra, pepper, or ugu. Then she would balance the heavy basket on her thin shoulders, walking the dusty road to the market. Many nights, she came home with aching legs and empty stomach, but still managed to smile for her boy. When food was not enough for two, she would say, "Obiorah, eat first. I'm not hungry." But when he fell asleep, her tears would soak her pillow as hunger twisted her belly. At night, after their tiny kerosene lamp filled the room with its soft glow, she would watch him reading his books. She would fan him slowly and whisper, "My son, read well. One day, you will leave this village and change our story." And Obiorah believed her. Years later, her prayers seemed to work. Obiorah finished school and got a job in Lagos. At 25, he was earning more money than he ever dreamed. He rented a fine apartment, wore sharp shirts, and started eating at restaurants where a plate of food cost more than what his mother made in a week. Every month, he sent money home. Mama Blessing would run barefoot to the shop, shouting with joy, "My Obiorah has sent money again. My son will build me a house one day." City life swallowed Obiorah whole. His colleagues talked about their rich parents and vacations abroad. They bragged about the schools they attended and the estates they grew up in. When they asked about his family, Obiorah would laugh lightly and wave his hand. "They are doing great, somewhere far away," he would say quickly, before changing the topic. When Mama Blessing called, her voice full of love and excitement, he would sigh and put the phone on speaker while scrolling through emails. "Mama, I'm in a meeting," he would lie. "I'll call you back." But the call back never came. One sunny afternoon, Mama's voice trembled with excitement as she spoke on the phone. "My son," she said, "I want to see where you live. I will cook your favorite soup. I will sweep and clean. I just want to see you." Obiorah's chest tightened, not with love, but with shame. He imagined his city friends seeing Mama Blessing in her worn slippers, wrapper faded from too many washings, her hair tied in the same old scarf. "No, Mama," he snapped. "I'm too busy. Don't come. Just stay in the village." There was silence on the line. Then Mama whispered, "Okay, my son. God keep you," before ending the call. That night, she sat by her small kerosene lamp, holding the phone to her chest, tears rolling down her cheeks. A month later, Obiorah's boss invited him to a prestigious investors' dinner. Politicians, big business owners, and foreign investors would be there. It was the kind of event that could change his life forever. "This is your chance," a colleague said. "Impress the right people, and you'll get that promotion." Obiorah prepared like his life depended on it. He bought a new designer suit, polished his shoes until they reflected his face, and practiced his smile in the mirror until it looked effortless. That same week, Mama Blessing called. "My son," she said, her voice bubbling with pride, "I saw your picture on the church WhatsApp group. You looked so fine. People keep saying, 'Mama Blessing, your son is making us proud.' I pray for you every day, Obiorah. Every single day." But Obiorah wasn't listening. His mind was on the dinner, on the handshake that might change his life, on the investors who could open doors for him. When Mama, her voice soft, said, "I wish I could just see you, my son. Just to sit with you for one day," something in him hardened. "Mama, stop disturbing me," he snapped. "I said stay in the village. Don't make me ashamed." There was silence. Then her voice, breaking but calm. God bless you, my son, she said quietly, and ended the call. But what she didn't know was that in Lagos, Obiorah had started feeling ashamed. Ashamed of her faded wrapper. Ashamed of her calloused hands. Ashamed of the very woman who had suffered to raise him. The dinner was the grandest thing Obiorah had ever seen. Crystal lights sparkled like stars. Expensive perfumes filled the air. Men in tailored suits and women in elegant gowns laughed softly as waiters moved around with trays of champagne. Obiorah held his head high and smiled, hiding the knot in his stomach. This was his night. His chance to impress. Then it happened. One of the senior managers clapped him on the back. "Come, Obiorah," he said cheerfully. "Meet Mr. Thompson and Mr. Bello, two of the biggest investors in our sector." Obiorah forced a confident smile as the man shook his hand. "Young man, Mr. Thompson, an older foreign investor, said warmly. "I hear you're one of the bright stars here. Your parents must be proud. What do they do?" Obiorah froze. His throat dried up. His hands trembled slightly. For a split second, he thought about Mama Blessing, about her rough hands, her faded wrapper, her cracked heels from years of labor. But instead of pride, shame gripped his chest like a fist. "Oh, my father, he, was in agriculture," Obiorah stammered, forcing a weak laugh. "And, oh, my family, owns some land." Mr. Thompson nodded politely, his smile never fading. But Mr. Bello, a younger investor with sharp eyes, frowned. "Land, Mr. Bello said coldly. "Interesting." His tone wasn't curious. It was dismissive, like he had already decided Obiorah wasn't worth his time. The conversation moved on, but Obiorah felt like the ground had opened under his feet. The next morning, it got worse. A video of Mama Blessing had gone viral. A boy from the village had recorded her at the market. She was barefoot, her wrapper faded, her headscarf tied loosely, but her face glowed with pride and joy. "My Obiorah is in Lagos," she shouted, dancing as she sold vegetables. "My son is doing well. One day, he will build me a house." The video spread like wildfire. Millions watched. Comments poured in. "This mother's joy is everything. See pure love. God bless her and her son." But in the office, it was different. His colleagues gathered around, laughing and teasing. One waved his phone. "Obiorah, is this your mama? See as she dey dance for market." Another mimicked her, laughing so hard he almost fell. "Market woman's boy. No wonder you never talk about her." The laughter burned him like fire. Obiorah fled to the bathroom and locked the door. Staring at his reflection, tears filled his eyes. The expensive suit, the polished shoes, the city accent, all of it felt fake, empty. That night, in his apartment, he watched the video again. This time, he didn't hear the laughter. He heard her voice, full of love, full of pride. And the shame cut deep. 2 days later, his friend Chuka came to see him. Chuka had known Obiorah since university. Unlike others, Chuka had no fancy background, just quiet confidence and wisdom that came from gratitude. He sat across from Obiorah in the apartment and shook his head slowly. "Obi, what is wrong with you?" Chuka asked gently. "Do you know how many people would give anything to have a mother like yours? Do you know how many would trade their wealth for that kind of love?" Obiorah stared at the floor, silent. Chuka leaned forward. "That woman carried you when no one else would. She skipped meals for you. She believed in you when you had nothing. And now you're ashamed of her. Bro, you're lost. And you need to find your way back." Something in Obiorah broke. The tears he had been holding back for days spilled over. He covered his face with his hands. "I messed up, Chuka," he whispered. "I've been such a fool." Chuka placed a hand on his shoulder. "Then fix it. Go home. Tell her the truth. Honor her while you still have the chance. The next morning, Obiorah drove to the village. No fancy suit. No city pride. Just the son returning home. When Mama Blessing saw the car, she ran from her small kitchen, her hands covered in palm oil. "My son," she cried, her voice breaking. But Obiorah dropped to his knees before her, tears streaming down his face. "Mama," he choked out, "I'm sorry. I've been blind. I was ashamed of the woman who made me who I am. Can you forgive me?" Mama Blessing knelt beside him, cupping his face with her rough hands. Her eyes were full of tears, but her smile was soft. "My son," she whispered, "I was never ashamed of you. Don't ever be ashamed of me. You are my pride. You will always be my pride." That day, Obiorah told the whole village the truth. He built Mama Blessing a proper house and promised to bring her to Lagos. Months later, she walked into his office, not in faded wrappers but in a simple, clean dress he had bought her. He introduced her to everyone, his voice steady and proud. "This," he said, smiling through his tears, "is Mama Blessing. The reason I am standing here today." And for the first time in his life, Obiorah felt truly free. Moral of the story: if you are ashamed of where you come from, you will never truly arrive where you are going. Honor your roots. Respect your parents, they are the reason you stand today. Don't just watch, follow our page for more African stories that teach, heal, and inspire. See you next time.